KJ,
Huh?
it's time for the Scary Horror Show.
Let's get it.
Damn.
Hey, what up, Deadites? It's your boy KJ, aka the Black Alfred Hitchcock. Got a special treat for you out there today. Today we are going to interview Jackey Neyman Jones, star of the 1966 B-horror classic Manos, The Hands of Fate. Great interview. Check it out. If you haven't seen Manos, we're going to put that trailer up first. After the trailer comes the interview. So join us, if you dare.
We're almost there, honey. Just a little while longer and your vacation starts.
Inside this magic circle, keep your head up high. I wonder where they're going.
Man, like there's nothing up that road.
I could have sworn we didn't make a wrong turn.
You must have. Where did the road go?
No need to get upset. We'll find it.
You know, we should have asked for better directions at the last gas station.
Listen, I've never gotten us lost before. Now look, the sign pointed this way.
Mike, let's go back to the crossroads and ask those kids we saw.
Okay, but I know we can't be wrong. Look, the sign pointed this way. Where did this place come from? It wasn't here a few minutes ago.
I don't care. Let's see if we can get some directions.
I am Torgo. I take care of the place while the master is away.
We only want to know where Valley Lodge is.
Which way do we go?
There is no way out of here. It will be dark soon. There is no way out of here.
No way out?
Well, you know, we could spend the night here, and then tomorrow we could...
Mike, I don't want to spend the night here. I don't like the looks of the place.
Well, it seems we have no alternative. Well, how about it, Torgo? Can we spend the night here?
I'll get the luggage.
I'll be glad to leave. I've had all of this place I want.
Madam, it will be very dangerous to leave now. The master wants you.
Wants me? What kind of talk is that?
He wants you for his wife.
Arise, my wives. Give ear to the words of Manos. Arise, my wives, and hear the will of Manos.
Mike, help us. Oh, my God.
Manos, God of primal darkness, as thou hast decreed, so have I done. The hands of fate have doomed this man. Thy will is done. Manos will be served.
So my first question is, what made you decide to go into the acting profession?
Well, my dad was very involved in community theater when I was a child, as long as I can remember, and I just loved it. I adored him, so anything he was doing, I wanted to be part of, and the theater was one of those things, because that's where I learned to read, was to help him run lines for the characters he played on stage, and it's where I learned to love to read and books and so much of my creativity came from him and my love of theater and acting.
Nice. I thought that was nice bonding time, father-daughter time then. That sounds
very much.
Yeah. And so we watched the Manos, The Hands of Fate, and you played Debbie, a young little girl in the movie. How old were you when you filmed Manos?
That was the summer that I turned 7.
Okay. You're so cute.
Yeah, I turned 7 July 2nd. So it was somewhere during the filming because it was filmed during the summertime, like June.
And it's got to be amazing. Was there any scenes that made you scared since you were so young? Or did you understand that you were just playing and kind of acting a role?
No, I understood it because I'd seen my dad on stage behind the scenes. I'd seen, the artwork that he created was very different from where I grew up. So, and we were very different from where I grew up in El Paso, Texas. We were just our house. Our front porch, you could literally see the Rio Grande River and Juarez, Mexico across the river. And we'd go over to Juarez, for dinner. We'd go to Mexico a lot. That was when it was a lot easier to get over the border. And but the neighborhood I grew up in we were the only non-Hispanic family in the neighborhood. So, there's a little bit of bullying. There was, but on the opposite side, my dad was an artist and he painted a lot of nudes. And being the 60s and being on the border and being very heavily Catholic, if the parents had known, they wouldn't have let their kids come over to our house. But some of the kids, that's how I made friends, was they were just so curious because we were so different. They wanted to see. And so I did have a few friends.
Okay, good. Well, that sounds like a wonderful experience. And what did you like best about filming the movie?
I liked hanging out with my dad because it's just outside of El Paso, which I learned recently is within El Paso because the boundaries have extended, and it's the location is literally within sight of the El Paso Community College. And so what I loved was that it was such a small cast and crew that if I was in a scene anywhere for that night, because you have to understand everybody that was on it had a day job.
Right.
So this was nights and weekends. Okay. And it all happened in like 8 days. It was fast.
That is fast.
But anytime that I needed to be in a scene, I had to go with my dad for the whole night. Or, and I would take a nap in the back of the car somewhere, But I was the only kid and I was very independent. And it was really pretty cool for me to be able to explore and poke around and do things without adult supervision. If you can imagine a 6-year-old out in the desert at night, people are like, well, weren't you scared of scorpions and rattlesnakes? And it's like, well, I was raised to understand, not that I was out of danger, but I wasn't afraid.
Sound like you were very independent. That's good.
Yeah, and still am. That's one of people's biggest, or men, I would say, in my life. Not a complaint, but they're just, you are so stubborn.
And that happens with kids when you're around more adults. It kind of makes you more mature. I was the same way. My parents were older when they had me, so I found myself around a lot of my aunts and uncles a lot of times. So it helps you kind of be a little bit more mature as well when you're around adults too. So
and aunts and uncles are they're more into exploring and playing.
Yeah.
And, like in the film, John Reynolds, who played Torgo, he was only like 27 years old at that time, and he was a very troubled young man, and he was a very good actor, but otherwise he was fairly antisocial. And on set, I seemed to be the person he was most comfortable with. I mean, he and my dad were already friends, so I knew him. But he's the one I probably hung out with the most. He was like a really cool uncle.
Okay, nice. I bet you had a bunch of aunts and uncles looking out for you during filming anyway, so that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, off and on. I'm sure I did. I'm sure people were looking out after me more than I imagined. You know, perspective is a lot of things, and a 6-year-old perspective is different than, what I was just realizing November 15th is the anniversary of the premiere of Manos, The Hands of Fate in El Paso. And I counted, it was like 56 years. Yeah. Oh my God.
We noticed that too.
I feel that old.
And that's when we're going to drop this video too on the anniversary. So.
Oh, very cool. That's really great.
We thought that would be a good time to drop it. Now, was there anything that you didn't like about filming the movie?
I can't think of a thing.
Sounds like you had a great time.
I did. I mean, one notable thing is, the Doberman and the dog was our family dog. Okay. And this dog, Shanka, this puppy, I named her after him. And my mom made the costumes. She made the master's robe and the wives' dresses and my little dress, but that just came out of my closet. So that last scene where I'm in one of the wives' dresses, that upset a number of people, imagining, the 6-year-old child is the next wife of the cult master. But to me, I was thrilled because I got to have a pretty dress like that. That was pretty. Yes. I was very happy with that.
I can imagine. You were so cute.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. So we noticed that there was a sequel, so Manos Returns. How did it feel to come back to film the sequel years later?
That was really great. I mean, it was a whole process. Over the years, Manos has just taken off, and so many really talented projects have come out of it. And I've met the most amazing people through this journey. And one of them was Rachel Jackson, who created the puppet version of Manos, The Hands of Fate, which you can see on YouTube. It's called Manos, The Hands of Felt. It's hilarious. But she ended up, she and I and another female filmmaker, Tanya Atomic, out of Washington, Seattle, Washington area, and Joe Sherlock, who is our cinematographer, our cameraman. He lives locally and he does a lot of independent films. So the four of us somehow got together and we decided to do this thing because my dad, the master, was still living. And through the process of writing my book, Growing Up with Manos, I found other people that had been part of the original film or family of. And so I found Diane Marie, who had played my mother in the original.
Okay.
And she lives in Colorado, near Denver. And we became friends. So when the idea of Manos Returns came up, we decided to write this sequel and as a love tribute. I mean, it's more that than anything. And we did it with a very limited budget. We did a crowdfunding, but it was like $27,000. I mean, that's not much money to make a film. And we had so many people that donated and gave us space and time and energy that I'm very proud of it. And I'm so glad we did it because my dad, he got to reprise his role as the master. And we brought Diane out from Colorado to play my mother. And it's funny, I got to mention this. Where we filmed the scenes in Manos Returns with me and my mother in front of the mirror, that's the room I'm sitting in right now.
Oh, wow.
It's my art studio now, like 5 years later. This building, this beautiful, it's an old doctor's clinic. It's over 100 years old. I used to bring my kids here when they were little to this very room. And then we ended up, the city loaned it to us and we filmed some scenes here. And it's just remarkable to me. Everything is full circle. It's just, but filming it, I'm just so glad we did. I know a lot of people critique it, and it's fine. It's not a great movie, but the people that understand it know that we did it in the same spirit as the original, that we're not trying to parody it. We're not trying to make fun of it.
Right.
We're not trying to make a buck. We're doing it out of pure love with as much intention as possible, which is, I think, one of the main things that makes Manos what it is among the fans, is they recognize that intention and they can relate to it.
Yeah.
How many people have said they're going to make a movie? And this guy, Hal Warren, he not only said it, but he actually got it done. And he did it in 1966 with a rented camera and bought film that, I mean, it's pretty much, the whole thing is kind of a miracle.
Yeah, it was meant to be. That's so nice.
Apparently so.
Now, you mentioned kids. What do your kids think about you being in these movies? Are they like, this is really cool, Mom? How do they feel about that?
Well, my kids are used to me being a little bit eccentric throughout my life. Hold on.
Take your time.
My dog is chewing on the base of... My dog is chewing on things. Yeah, they've always been supportive. I guess the story I'd like to relay, the funniest one, was in 2015. I was interviewed by Playboy magazine.
Oh, wow.
And October issue 2015.
Okay.
And it was an 8-page article, and they interviewed me. My name was the first words in the article. And I didn't tell my kids that I interviewed with them, but my younger son was 16 at the time. And you have to understand, we live in a town of 1,000 people in Western Oregon, like at the end of the road.
Right.
Our entire school system is 200 kids. So, and I was very involved. I think I was even on the school board at the time. So they sent me copies of the magazine after they published it, and I remember my 16-year-old son coming home from school, and when he walked in the door, I held up a copy and go, "Guess what, honey? Your mom's in Playboy magazine this month." I thought he was gonna pass out. I'm like, no, I am, but no pictures. It's an article. I mean, that's what Playboy's known for, right?
Right.
Some really good articles.
Yeah.
But that's my favorite story about it. But they've always been supportive. They just, they got their own lives.
Well, good. And then I wanted to see, what do you think the legacy of Manos, The Hands of Fate, would be?
Well, what I'm seeing it is that it's truly an inspiration for people. I've met people, and now after 56 years, I'm meeting children and grandchildren of people who were fans from the beginning. I mean, the film disappeared completely for 27 years. We thought it was gone forever. And then it showed up on Mystery Science Theater 27 years old later and became an instant fan favorite.
Okay.
And so I think the legacy of Manos is that it is an inspiration. I mean, there's so many, I mentioned the puppet theater, but besides that, there's been 4 stage productions, including the rock opera of Fate out of Chicago. There's the Manos, the band of Fate. There's a musical group, trading cards, video games, coloring books, comic books. I mean, it's like I have this collection of things that other people have made and created that's just amazing. I mean, really talented stuff. So I'm just... the legacy is inspiration. If it inspires people to complete their own projects, I mean, that's that's my thing in life. I'm opening a new artist co-op, and it's all about inclusion and collaboration.
Yeah.
You know,
I
writing
totally agree.
grants for people that can't afford to come to classes and do things. So this whole thing just works perfectly within my own life.
I would agree. Just from everything you told me, just how the cast worked together at nights and weekends, and just got it done in 8 days, and just producing the movie yourself and everything. I just think what you said is true. It just that's the legacy that I see. Just you can get it done. You can do it yourself, and you can just leave a message behind for years to come. Because look at the sequel years later and how successful.
There's so many things that never make it to the public, but that's okay, you know. That's okay. I just say, just keep going. Just keep doing your passion. A friend of mine recently reminded me that I said something years ago, because I do painting parties. I teach paint classes, and I'm doing them online right now. MST classes through Dumb Dash Industries. So look that up. Jackie, the hands of paint. But I forgot where I was going with that. But my dog is distracting me. She keeps being on the bottom of this table. I mean, she's only 3 months old. She's baby teeth, but. Yeah, I don't remember where I was going with that.
Okay. No, we were just talking about the legacy that you've left. The movie has left for the fans, for true horror fans and things. So
yeah,
I think that the same. I agree with what you said. Just the legacy of just dreaming big and not letting anything stop you, and just working, fighting to get it done. So it sounds like you had some struggles, but you overcame it, and y'all were able to get this movie out and a sequel out years later. So that says a lot.
Yeah, and now I'm working on another thing. And at this point, I'm calling it the Manos verse, because there's so many different directions. You know, the original script was pretty thin, and so it gives you it's a decent story, but it gives you a lot of room to go in different directions, and many people have. So in Manos Returns, the story is of me 50 years later, and what if Debbie had been raised by the cult, the master's cult?
Okay.
What would she be 50-something years later? Well, in that story, I become the master. Which makes sense, because in the in true life, the master is actually my dad, backstory. But so I become the master, but now we're doing another show called the Manos Chronicles, and you can see the trailer on YouTube. And it's very close, where the producers are working on a distributor right now and funding for more episodes, but this is for the first episode of what we hope to be a series.
Nice.
And in this story, it's Debbie, but what if she escaped the Valley Lodge as a child, and she's been in hiding all these years? And so now I have other people coming in that are helping me, and I'm looking for retribution and to help other people in the world to combat those kind of evil things.
Okay, well, that's beautiful. I'm just so happy that everything's been such a success for you just over the years, and just it seems like it's just grown into just so much, and just open up the door for just different things. You know, the Chronicles. You said the Manos, the Hand of the Felt. I have to look into all that now.
Yes, you do.
That is just wonderful. It just seems like, just very inspiring. You never think that one thing or that one project that you have, it can turn to grow into so much. So I'm just really happy for you all that this has been such a success for you.
Thank you. Me too. Yeah, there's been a lot of healing through this whole adventure, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, you find it where you can, right? We all have trauma. We have to find our healing where we can, and I've just been so blessed to be part of this whole thing.
Yes, it's grown to be something just amazing. Now, what's up next for you, for Jackie? I think you mentioned.
Well, I'm working on the co-op.
Okay.
And I have a friend that lives in the next town, and she owns several, this is a very old part of the country, old logging, Oregon logging on the western coast. And she owns a building was built in 1903. And it's right now it's called the Dallas Event Center. The town is called Dallas, Oregon.
Okay.
And it's huge. It was a J.C. Penney's from 1913 to 1989. So it's just beautiful, like wood, and she's giving us the opportunity to use it to build our artist co-op.
Okay.
We're already doing some painting classes. We're going to jury in some top-notch artists for the gallery, but so many people also are just approaching us. We've gone door to door to the community about collaborations. So like with the bars and restaurants, there's a beautiful bar in there. It reminds me of the Overlook Hotel in The Shining. That's the building it is. It's so rich and elegant. And it has 3 identified ghosts in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've been photographed even. And so I talk to them every time I come in just to make sure they're cool with us,
I almost want to check it out, kind of. Then I get scared. The ghost.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have been approached by a woman who teaches dancing. So there's going to be like classes for ballroom and waltz. We're going to have a monthly independent filmmakers night where we bring in local independent filmmakers to show their film and do Q&A. We're writing grants for kids, like the kids in my own community. There's so many talented, but our schools are so small. They don't have theater arts. They don't have a lot of programs. And so we're looking at getting them bused and moved to events and to get a little more culture in their lives and just get them out there in the world.
That is wonderful.
So we're doing like anything to do with the arts. We're looking at yoga. And then another woman approached us and said, what about yogas and puppies? She says, I shelter dogs. And I've heard of yoga and goats and yoga and cats. So why not yoga and puppies? Maybe we'll find some puppies, some wonderful new homes. So we're so open to everything. And this is really more than a lifelong dream for me. I didn't even realize my dreams were so vast. But I'm connecting with amazing people. And by the way, the woman who's loaning us that building, the building across the street, her restaurant, the upstairs has never been refurbished. It's over 100 years old. And that's where we filmed Manos, most of Manos Returns. So all the really creepy stuff happened right there.
Oh,
in fact, everybody on the cast and crew has a ghost story. There was some really weird stuff. We even had bats flying around in there. It was cool.
That sounds really cool. That is awesome. Well, it sounds like this has just opened up the door just for so much, and you're just kind of paying it forward, which is wonderful. I love it.
That's always been my dream. And so right now I'm just looking at making my own life more stable because I've been putting so much out and not bringing anything in. And so I'm looking for balance.
Yeah.
Because, that's the other lesson the thing I would leave you with is it's hard to help the world. It's hard to put things out until you take care of yourself first.
That's true. You are telling the truth. I've been hearing that theme this year myself. You can't help others until you help yourself. So you got to take care of yourself as well. So
that's right.
Balance it all out. Life.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not, especially when you were a mom. I bet it was really challenging when they were little, probably trying to get everything done too. So I can imagine.
Yeah, I was a single mom. I raised my kids. I had a 30-year business doing high-end faux finish, and I started it with nothing. I mean, I've had 4 businesses that I started with nothing more than a dream. But I look back and I don't know how I did it all, but I did.
Well, thank you so much. And just real quick, one last question. How can fans reach you or follow you? Are you on social media? Do you have any handles that you want to share with us? Instagram?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. That's a really good place. I have the Jackey Neyman Jones fan page, and that thing's really growing, and people are so interactive. It's a lot of fun. I would say that's the main one right now, but also look at dumb-industries.com.
Okay.
And that's Christopher or Chris Gerbetch, who runs it. He produces the Mads, Frank and Trace from Mystery Science Theater. He produces their show, The Mads Are Back. And Mary Jo Peel, who is also on Mystery Science Theater, and I asked him if he would produce my online classes, which he's been doing for about 5 or 6 months. I mean, like we did Mothra.
Oh, nice.
1 month, and a couple months ago we did Godzilla.
I like that.
Mystery Science Theater films. This month I think we're doing Gamera. So, but look that up. I'm doing online painting classes, so it doesn't matter where you are. Anywhere you can come and play with us. We have a wonderful group, and we have so much fun. We have a group page where we share our student gallery, and it's just a great community. So, if anyone would like to join us, there's lots of ways to do that.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for sharing that and taking the time. I can't wait till we get this out so our fans can learn more about the things that you have to offer, because they sound so great.
Thank you so much, Crystal. I really enjoyed talking with you.
You too. Definitely feel free to reach out to us anytime in the future, okay?
Yeah, with all the new stuff?
Yes. Anything new, let us know, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Did you want to say anything?
It was great hearing from you, Jackie. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, let me get back in focus. Thank you so much. I was just listening. You are inspiration.
Yes.
And, you know, everybody that listens to us will know the great stories that you told and just everything you got coming up in the future. But thank you so much for taking the time out to
thank you.
You're welcome. Well, and the very last thing is look at my book. It's the whole story. And it's called Growing Up with Manos, the Hands of Fate.
Okay.
How I was the child of the worst movie ever made and lived to tell the story.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jackie, and we appreciate your time today, okay?
Thank you.
Take care. Good luck with everything in the future.
Yes, thank you again.
You too. Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye. Take care.
ScareHorseShow.com